This is Chunk.
Welcome to this episode of Chicks and Chairs and Men on the Move. Today we're going to be talking about depression and what is it? Has your disability ever what? What? How? Right, go ahead.
How has your disability ever affected
Your mood.
your mood, or has it ever made you depressed?
Right, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You get it. You get
Basically, it's not a real.
Okay.
It's a working title.
it. Right. So you to call it what you want to call it.
Yeah, right.
That depressed episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, we can't look at us. We're talking about how we can't always be joking around and we're
Right.
joking around.
We'll get it
But
together.
the reason why I wanted to do this episode today is because I have been feeling down lately. It's when I'm not doing this, when I'm not filming and recording, I feel like my life has no purpose. I'm not doing anything with my life. I am, sometimes I don't want to get out of bed, and all that stuff like that. So, and lately I've just been feeling very, in a funk, we called it, right? In a funk. And I'm
Are you gonna break out in the song?
No song.
Y'all should though.
Come on, Miss B. Get the funk out of my face. Get the funk out of my face. Alright.
Yes.
Okay. Have any of you guys ever? And I don't think this is related to my disability, as far as the way I feel. I do think it's situational. With a lot of stuff that's going on in my life that I don't want to have going on. Have you guys ever experienced depression? Let's start
I
with
think
Miss.
we've all experienced depression. Whether it had to do with me, probably has to do with me being disabled. Because one of the main times I can always remember being very depressed, don't want to get out of bed, don't want to eat, don't want to do nothing, is what?
What?
My wheelchair broke.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
It's like what?
yeah, I don't even. It feels like I don't even want to live without a motorized wheelchair because I don't feel like I have a life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just stuck in one spot. I can't push myself with my arms.
Oh.
I can't push myself with my arms. Back in the day, they made me a one-arm wheelchair that weighed so much. You just push it with one arm. But you had to be able to, it had one with two, the pieces, the round pieces. And you had to control it both on one side.
Okay.
And it didn't get me nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't get me nowhere. And I mean,
So how did you roll it straight?
you'd have to push both wheels, both
At
of
the
the
same time
what's
with one
the
arm?
rims.
Yeah.
You had to move both rims now. But if you wanted to turn, you had to use the outer rim to make the wheelchair turn.
Okay.
The wheel itself.
Yeah, but it was heavy and it was ridiculous, and and then like I told you, I don't want to go out because I don't want to go out and see people. I mean, and for people to see me, not that it matters to them because they don't know me, but it's just what's in my head as far as it's concerned. Like I said, I don't want to eat. I don't want people seeing me in no manual wheelchair. Maybe I'm spoiled. Maybe the motorized wheelchair has me spoiled because messing around with Trump, we all might be riding on a skateboard soon.
We better get very creative, right?
Yeah, you be driving into the
I know, right? To the wheels fall off, literally.
Then, I'm sorry, when I was in a nursing home, for a month. Every night after 7, I don't know what it was. I got so depressed, like I wanted to cry. A good friend of mine, she was in the hospital with me. I mean, we became good friends, and she was in my room, and it just all I wanted to do was the night to be over and the day to hurry up and get there. It was just something I just hated, and it was very depressing. Okay.
Mike, what about you?
I went through a long period of depression, probably until my mid-20s, like mid to late 20s. But most of it had nothing to do with, well, it all had to do with my disability when you trace it back to it, because it was like we had my original interview was about my mother and how I grew up and things like that. So I went through years of depression because of how I grew up and not having my parents around and things like that. And it didn't come out when I was younger. It didn't come out on like a depressed way. It was more like violent. Like I would be violent towards people because I didn't know how to express it. And then one day I punched somebody in the mouth, and my mother was like, "Yeah, you're going to counseling." So then, like my first week of counseling, I was 10 years old, and the first thing I asked the lady was, "So, how long do you think I got to do this for?" And she thought I meant time-wise. She's like, "About an hour." I'm like, no. Like, when is my last session gonna be? And she was like, probably around June. And this was like March of that year. And like I ended up going to counseling for 16 years.
Oh,
Wow.
And
Sorry.
just cause like, you know, growing up, I was adopted as a kid. So there was a lot of things that came with that, and not having my mother around or not having any father around. It was just like, you go through things. You're trying to grow up and figure things out for yourself, and then you know, like, your biological family is somewhere, and you're going through things with your family, and just it was. And I spent 2 or 3 weeks in a mental institution when I was 23, because that was like the boiling point, the breaking point of my life at that point. It was just like everything that led up to that day of me checking myself in. But shortly thereafter, I finally met my biological, like 4 months after I checked out the hospital, I met my biological family for the first time. So it all ended up like flipping around. Like I like, and within 6 months, I went from mental hospital to living on my own for the first time to finding my biological family like a couple months after that. So it was like, it went from like the worst possible situation to the best possible.
So I'm glad you said that, because you know, you have a lot of people who feel so desperate, like there is no tomorrow, no light after the darkness. This is a good a point you made, that it went from the worst possible to the best possible.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, sunshine is possible tomorrow. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
it's cliche to say, but I always had in my head like, well, if I'm not dead, then it's fine. Like I can get my way out of it. But before you get to that point, it's just like, what? Like every day is this shit. Like while I'm waking up depressed and I don't want to do anything, and like you know, because I've had tons of friends die, family members, siblings, you know. So I'm only 32, about to be 33. So I went through all this stuff 16, 17 years ago, like in high school. So this is when you're a young kid and you're going through so much stuff at a young age, you really don't know how to deal with everything.
right.
So like I said, sometimes it would come out with violence and fights, and sometimes it would just come out where I wouldn't speak to people, or I didn't want to hear nothing. I'd spend like weeks in my room just like not saying nothing.
Wow. What about you, Teresa?
Sorry, can I ask?
So, yeah.
You ever cried?
I mean, honestly, this last year is probably the most I ever cried in my life. Like, because I lost, the beginning of last year, like the first day of last year, I lost one of my best friends, Raul. And then later on in the month, like the 30th of January last year, I lost an ex-girlfriend, and she was my friend too. So within that 30-day period, like I lost two people I was close to. So that, like, this last year was like the worst. Like every other day it was like emotional stuff, and I wasn't used to it. So I'm like, what the hell? Like, what you doing all this? Because I like I've said, I've probably been to like 20 funerals in my life, and that's like. That's not even counting the funerals that I missed. That's just the funerals that I've attended. And then I just got to a point where I was like, I can't go to any more funerals. Like, this is getting... Because it was a point where I was going to 3-4 funerals a year.
Wow.
Just for people that I grew up with or grew up around. And nobody was like in their 40s or 50s. Everybody
Wow,
was,
your age.
yeah, like 20s, 30s. It's like, I can't do this all the time. 'Cause
Are these all people that had disabilities?
For the most part, I had an aunt. I had an aunt that passed away in 2012. She died from an asthma attack at 36,
Wow.
and that was the last funeral that I attended. Like after that, I was just like, I can't keep going to everybody's funeral because it's gonna kill me going to everybody else's funeral. So,
What about you, Teresa?
Yes, I have spurts of depression. First time that I got really depressed is when I lost my son in 1997. He was 7. He was mentally, physically disabled, so he was my baby forever. And he was my stress reliever, to say. He relieved my stress. And when he left, my stress went gone. And then I had my other son is 2 years after, but when I had them together, they were like twins because my other son was still an infant in a way. So I had 2 babies at one time, and all of a sudden now I have 1 baby. But I just had my daughter, so I said, okay. But then I said, you know what? It got to the point I just couldn't do it anymore. So I put myself actually counseling. I did the kids first because I actually saw that they were going through something. So I put them in counseling right away. I didn't want them to be too, it was
But that was really my low point, you know, and you know, I still got little bits of depression, things that I'm going through now. It's funny because, you know, growing up, I didn't know why it was so crazy. I just knew it was like, at first I tried to blame it on my family. I'd be like, well, my mom was that shit crazy too. She kind of still is. So I would be like,
Hey,
you know,
that's his mom.
no, she would not be offended either. My mom is a very intimidating woman. She is 5'11". She's bigger than me, and she's covered in tats. So yeah, and she had long dreads, but she cut them, so she was very intimidating looking. But you know, I used to blame it on them, and I never really knew why. Now my depression really comes from the people in my life. Like I wasn't really, and it's weird being a disability rights advocate.
All you people in Dustin's life are getting thrown under
No, yes, I'm throwing all of you under the bus. No,
Get
because
outta here.
no,
Some
it's
of the
true.
people
Well,
you
some of them, because
Okay.
I was never a people person.
Oh.
I did not like people, and now.
Apparently they didn't like you either.
Well, no, I mean I think the feeling was mutual, but I really didn't like people, and it was weird because now here I am as an advocate for
Yeah,
people with
for
disabilities. People with disabilities.
every episode.
Yeah, right. Take your pills, people. Mini strokes. But no, I don't suffer from mini strokes. That's not funny. But you know, we're done.
You are
but
done.
but what you call it? You know, I thank God for where I am. Stop laughing.
Don't do it, Mike.
It's a
Don't
serious
do
episode.
it.
But you know, like I
Not
said,
looking.
I'm not looking at Mike.
I'm not
Mike's gonna get
looking.
me in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Stephanie, how about you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, since when I became disabled, it was a depression
Yeah.
that went along
Yeah.
with it, because you know I was a mother of 5 children. I used to go out with my kids. We would do things, whatever. But then, as you know, the disability started to progress. I slowed down.
Yeah.
And I can recall one time me and my sister and niece went out to eat, and they were coming out the restaurant. We were coming out the restaurant, and they're walking and talking, and they're like way up ahead of me, and I'm trudging behind, you know, with my walker and everything. And it's not anything that people do on purpose. You know, it's just not in their head, and those type of things. You know, it makes a separation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it started making me pushback. I would go to family events or whatever, and I'd sit in the corner just to be out the way, tuck myself out the way. I don't want to be in anybody's way. I don't want to bother anybody, you know, or anything like that. So it started to cause me to isolate myself. Nobody was pushing me away. I was staying away, you know, and you know, so that's what part of my depression came. And you know, I started seeing something like that, along with some other things that were going on. Excuse me, in my house. You know, and they were talking about medication. You know, and then getting different diagnoses. Like I remember I was sitting by Union Square, and there's a Dunkin' Donuts across the street from the train station at Union Square.
Yeah.
And I was sitting over there, and I remember talking to my girlfriend on the bus. I just got diagnosis of skin cancer, right? Cutaneous T-cell lymphoma. And I made these connections. You say cancer to me, I think back to my mom who had to go through chemotherapy. All I know is once we found out my mom was sick, she went through chemotherapy and she was dead. You know, she was miserable and then she was dead. You know, and so when they told me that, that's all I could see for myself.
Right.
You know, and I'm roaming around Union Square this day, and I just could not get my head right. And I'm talking to my girlfriend, and we're talking about the 5 stages of death and all, you know, and I'm outside in the street, you know, and I ended up having to see a therapist, you know, where, you know, and she was so good. She was so freaking good, because she's like, so, how long did they tell you had to live? And I'm like, well, they didn't say that. You know, it just kind of made me realize how foolish I was being. Because, see, my mom died at 36 years old. And she had leukemia. That's, you know, cancer
Yeah, I
of the
know.
blood. And I always thought I would die that young. You know, I thought I wasn't going to live past 36.
Can I say something real quick?
Mhm.
I actually have that same fear.
I get
because I'm like, my dad never made it past 39.
39.
We
Us
talked about
too.
it. We talked about it, and we talked about it in my interview. How I always think about death,
Mhm.
and I think for me, it's surrounded me my whole life.
Right.
Like from the time I was young, like a little kid.
Mhm.
So you start to develop this thing. Well, look at all these people around me dying. I'm probably not gonna make it
Right.
to be that old either. And you know, like
I just thought about that. It was because of a lot of people that I grew up who had cerebral palsy. A lot of them didn't make it to the age of 21.
Mhm.
yeah.
So I thought I was going to die too at an early age. That was in the back of my mind. Like, wow, all of them left when they're not 21. So when I reach these
Milestones,
ages,
right.
yeah, I'm like,
It's like
oh, I made
Oh, I made it.
Yes, it's like, yeah.
I feel like I got a few extra years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always wonder about, the first, let me say, there's a lot of times now that I could feel myself like feeling sort of down,
Mhm.
and I try to pick up on it quickly so that I can try to put it in another way, because I don't want to be sad.
Right. Right.
Okay.
I don't want to be sad. And I live by myself. So, you know, there's like nobody I can talk to, nobody, you know. So I don't want to be sad. And once you start being sad like that, it's, if you let it go too long, to me, as far as I'm concerned, for me, if I let it go too long, like, I have to be done taking care of that same day. I can't let that go into the next day. And sometimes it'll take me until maybe 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning when I start feeling better. So it's not like a chemical imbalance for me.
What do you do to make yourself feel better?
No, I just wait.
drugs.
You wait.
Tea.
Drugs.
You know, sometimes when I don't get my thing,
What?
Tell your story, bro.
depressing.
Tell your story.
No, I didn't tell my
Wait,
What
you get depressed when you don't have relation.
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah.
Is that my problem?
You get
I
depressed,
think
sometimes angry, antsy. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
might kill somebody still. You gotta watch
Wait,
it.
how long? How long does, like, what is it, like a week, a month?
I better not be no weak. Oh, like, it better not be no weak.
If you don't
Wait, are you
get
talking
it.
about not having tea?
Oh,
or are
yeah,
you talking about not having sex?
Which
How
one?
do we
They're kind of one and the
Sex.
same thing.
Yeah.
How do we always get the sex no matter what the episode?
What I'm just saying is,
I just want to help the audience.
Yeah.
it could be the tea. It could be something as little as tea that brings me back. But what happens when I feel myself getting like that? I try to take care of everything. Okay.
What do you mean take care
Like,
of everything?
okay.
Yes, what do you
Do I-
mean everything?
Let's just be.
Yeah. Do I need a cup of tea? So I'll drink a couple of.
Oh,
cup
she
of
goes
tea.
through the
Do I
steps.
Oh,
need
you
to-
go through. Oh, okay.
Do I need to eat?
This she'll
Do I
eat.
need to speak to my mommy on the
Yeah.
phone? Do I need to speak to my
What
sisters?
if you need something and ain't nothing there?
Huh?
What if you
Yeah.
need some D and ain't nothing there?
Huh? Huh?
That's how you help yourself.
Once again, I can't wait till Wesley sees this.
Sorry.
No. I mean, to tell you the truth, the sex part has never been something that'll take me out of depression. I think
Okay.
something like that probably would make me sadder.
Really?
Yeah.
Having sex?
The lies you tell.
No.
Wait, what?
No.
What?
No, what I'm saying is
What?
that's not gonna be something. That's not gonna be
They're
something.
confused.
It's not going to affect whether or not you
Yeah, that's not gonna make me. That's
It's not gonna
most
make her
likely I
move
won't
better.
even wanna do nothing like that because I don't think I would want somebody that close to me if
Oh,
I'm
okay,
feeling
Okay.
funky.
Mhm.
If I'm feeling, maybe a nice shower, maybe a hug, something.
So,
It's
so
just.
you don't think of another person there
I'll hug you.
Oh, Bendito.
to show you
Had that been me
to show you affection will bring you out of the funk?
Like I said, maybe if I, sometimes.
As
if
long
I-
as it's affection.
Yeah, or if I speak to my mother or
That's
one of my
affection.
sisters, stuff like that. I just don't want to cry. And I cry over everything.
I'm crying.
Yeah, she cries over everything.
What's wrong with crying?
It's
Huh?
true.
Yeah, I just don't want to cry when I'm
Yeah.
feeling like that. I don't want to cry because that means I lose to me. That's like,
She doesn't want to lose.
yeah, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to cry over for that reason.
When I cry like that, when I get like that and I cry, I feel ridiculous.
Yeah,
Because I start crying and it makes me feel makes me feel tired, like my mind.
Yeah.
It's like,
When you talking about crying, you talking about boo crying or just tears?
Sometimes I go watch a video on YouTube. I mean on Facebook. I
She
cry.
cry.
Wow.
It's just a feeling that gets up in
Are you an
here.
emotional person?
I can be.
Well, obviously.
I can be. So,
Yeah.
so once I'm feeling funky, it's the
double.
emotion and everything. You know.
sometimes you need to cry.
I've always
Sometimes
been
you do.
the
Sometimes
weirdest
you need to
depressed
cry.
person you probably ever meet. You'll never know I was like
Oh.
depressed or feeling anything.
What do you do when you're depressed?
Nothing. I just live through it.
Right.
Like, like I said, this last year, everything kind of got thrown into a tailspin and it was different because I think my ex-girlfriend Sharice passing, like that was like the pinnacle of like every death that I had to live through to up to that point, because I had a foster brother. He was killed when I was 15, and I've had family members, and I may cry once, twice, and it was like, oh, all right, that's cool. Like, or somebody I know died, and like the next day, I was like, oh, sucks, man. It was part of life. That's because that's the way I trained myself to deal with everything. Because I know, like, when everything changed for me, like, in my life was when I was 7, and I found out that I was adopted, and my attitude about life started to change. Like, I started to feel negative. You know what I mean? Like, I started to feel like, because knowing that my mother wasn't there for me, like, my mother couldn't be there or she wasn't there, then you start, well, if my mother don't give a shit, nobody gonna give a shit. So, and then, you know, certain things happen in my household growing up, and things were said, and it didn't make me sad, it made me angry. You know what I mean? The older I got, the angrier I got. So it didn't come out in sadness, it was more like, now I want to hurt somebody. Like, now I want to, so a lot of because it was like, you're here, so you're going to feel it. Because of my mother's abandonment or my adopted mother and how she treated me. And no disrespect to her, I love her to death, but, you know, like, we had stages in my life. And, you know, like, we're going to do an episode with my sister, and you're going to hear stories.
Right.
Like, we had our stuff. And so, like I said, being so young, and just going through all these things so fast with death and neglect and abuse, and you know, I didn't have the time to be sad. It was more like I gotta keep going
And survive.
Yeah, like I couldn't sit back and just be depressed and be sad. And being a man, like, you see how, like, we just talked about, like, you crying, and like having no father and growing up with no brothers, and I'm growing up in a house full of women. You either become one way or the other. You either become really feminine or you become
hyper masculine.
Yeah, and I was like the hyper masculine. Like, you're not gonna see me cry. Like, I grew up in a house full of women. It's like I gotta be the man. I gotta, you know, like I can't. I remember like when my foster brother passed. Like, this is how much I was like not about crying. Like, cause my mother never did it. She never showed emotion. I never, to this day, my mother's 73 years old. I've never seen her cry about anything. So I developed that attitude. It was like, you're not going to see me get emotional. So when my brother passed, I remember she went to the store. Like, we got the phone call early in the morning that he passed, and then she went to the store, and she was gone. I'm in the house by myself, but I went in the bathroom and closed the door just in case she came back. And then I I cried then, because then I was like, well, she ain't here, and the door's closed, and she comes back. Like I know she's back, so I can leave. So if you're raised to not be emotional, then you start to not be emotional. So a lot of times things would happen, and I would just whatever, it's cool, it doesn't matter, whatever the case may be. And it got to the point where like I said, it never came out emotionally. It came out and like the way I ended up in the mental hospital was like either I'm gonna hurt myself or I'm gonna hurt somebody in here. So before that happens, let me just remove myself from the situation. And that's why I spent 3 weeks in the mental hospital. Came out, and like maybe a month later, my sister called and was like, she found out information about my biological mother. And then we went looking for her, and we found out she passed 5 years before. So then it sent me back into like, I've been looking for this person my whole life, and now they're still not here. You know what I mean? So then it sent me back a little bit, but I had siblings. So then I kind of just throwed it on my siblings, like I'm just going to stick with them, and it's going to be us, and I don't got to worry about
Have a good relationship with them.
Yeah, it's 8 of us. You can't, if you don't got a relationship with one.
All of them. Somebody.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever think about dying?
I do.
Yes.
I think about dying all the time.
All the time.
It's actually
All the time.
as sad as it is, it's a very big fear of mine. I feel like I should be immortal. And I'm not saying that for a cheap laugh. I'm like, I should be here forever. And I feel like I deserve it. And I know
Why do you deserve it? Right.
because I'm me. But, you know, I'm just hyped in I'm hyped in myself like that. I feel like I'm me. I deserve to be here forever. I'm sorry, what?
No, I was telling like
No, I
know
know
what
what
he
he said.
Yeah, about
No, I know, but that is actually my biggest fear.
What's
is
the
dying.
fear?
Not knowing how and when,
that is the
and
biggest
when.
fear. When?
Because, for example, you know, I'm talking about, all right, I'm going to go to work tomorrow. I don't necessarily know that,
No.
you know,
I
or
was not promised to know.
exactly, or we're going
And
to a
that's
birthday
secondly
party on Saturday.
promised.
I don't know if I'll be there, but I'm telling everybody, hey, I'll be there.
Yeah.
So not knowing when and where or how, is it going to be quick? Is it going to be painful?
Yeah.
You know, it's,
But imagine if you
it's going
didn't.
to be scary.
Right?
I was
If you
thinking the
did
same
know
Uh-huh.
when and where.
I don't think I would lose
That
my
would-
mind.
right.
So,
Yeah.
so
Right,
it's
right,
a tale of two
right.
evils.
Yes,
But that's
it
my
is.
fear,
It's
though.
a tool-
Do you think
what is
about, what about you, Teresa?
I think the same as him. Think how, when, how. I mean, I'm like, I don't want to go and it be so painful.
Yeah.
I want to go where I'm peaceful, where I'm okay. I don't want to go where my kids are like, look at her. She's
Exactly,
all bloody.
because, like,
I don't want to give off that vibe. I want to
Exactly.
go peacefully, quietly.
because my dad, when he died gasoline.
You
In
know
my
what I mean?
sleep.
Something.
In my sleep. I just want to sleep and go.
I never, like from the time I used to, like when I was a little kid, I'm talking about like 7, 8 years, I used to lay up like late at night in my room, like in the dark, and just like, so this is what it's gonna be like when I die.
I think we all did
I
that.
think we all done
It's
that
gonna
though.
be dark, and then the more people started dying,
Mhm.
it's just like I'm like now I know like I'm definitely gonna die one day, but I never sat and like wondered how. I don't really care about how. It's just
Me.
in the last year, like when all this stuff happened within that month, it was the first time I felt like this shit could really happen. Like I could die now.
Happen.
Because one of the one friend, he was 28.
Raul?
Yeah, Raul was 28, 29, and Sharice had just turned 30 5 days before she passed. So for the first time, it was like, it's
It's
getting,
real to you.
it's
Close
getting
to it.
really
Real
close
close.
to like, you know what I mean? Like the people around me are getting closer. Like these are people I spend time with, you know what I mean? Like I really love these people, and now they're dying. So now I started thinking, it's definitely gonna happen. Like I'm definitely not gonna make it to like 80. And you start really thinking like that. Like you go crazy. I almost drove myself crazy like in the past year because it's just like I'm gonna die. Like there's no doubt about it. Like I'm gonna die. I don't know when I'm gonna die. I don't know how I'm gonna die, but I know it's gonna happen. No matter what I'm doing in life, no matter how good I'm doing, no matter how good of health I try to keep myself in, I'm gonna die.
That's one thing that's promised.
That's true.
So like I said, the closer it got, it's the first time I really started thinking like, I'm probably not gonna have that long to live because I've seen it
You've
so
seen
much.
it so much.
Mhm.
And it's almost unnatural. Like I always tell people, it's like you hear people stories. They have friends who get killed. They have friends who
Yes.
they may be in gangs and they lose a bunch of
Yes.
friends. My friends, they living their life. They ain't dying because somebody killed them. They
Right.
dying just because this was
Yeah.
their plan in life wasn't
Your
to
point
live.
of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Raul. I remember when I first met Raul. He had a brother named Javier. Javier passed in 2008, and they both told me, it was like, with what we have, we're not gonna make it to probably 25.
Oh.
But when you meet people, you put it in the back of your mind, like, oh yeah, he's talking that
Right,
shit.
right,
You
right.
know, but they gonna live. Like even when people tell you they're not gonna live long, you're still like, yeah, they're gonna be fine. Like they're not really gonna die at 25. I guess not really. And then it happens, and you're like, oh shit, like they really.
You said that.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
and so when you're surrounded by that from a young age, it's just like you get paranoid. Like it's gonna happen.
Mhm. What about you, Miss Me?
Well, I have my plans planned out. I always talk about it.
I told you I'm not falling out.
I
She
don't want
wants
to
us
be
to
buried, but I want a
fall out.
funeral, and then I want everybody to go to the repast. I want there to be lots of food, and I want big, huge pictures of me, all in the room wherever. So it'll be like I'm there.
Uh-huh.
So it'll be like I'm right there with everybody. I make jokes about my insurance because I have it, but it ain't that much. Wesley's not gonna get rich off of it.
Sorry, Wesley.
You're not
Sorry,
gonna get
Wesley.
rich off of it. So I want to be cremated and everything like that. And I think about death a lot of times. Most of the times I think about it and stuff like that. It's nothing big. I think more about my funeral. I think about my funeral the way other women think about their wedding day. I do. The same way everybody else thinks about their wedding day.
Funerals is for the living. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not for us.
I always tell
Not for
people, like,
us.
when people ask me, like, what I want my funeral to be, like, I don't care, I won't be there.
That's what I tell.
No, I want mine. I
tell
want
my
mine
kids,
to be
do
in
not do
a
nothing
church.
Like, I mean,
extravagant.
Yeah, like, don't put me in the ground
Don't
and leave
put
me
me
in
no
some unmarked, like,
extravagant,
thing. Like, I
Throw
want
you in potty field.
Yeah, like,
I want a
We're
nice
not in
outfit.
I said, if I thought to myself, if I knew I was dying, I would probably have a big party
Okay.
so that we could do it.
While
Let's
you're
just
there.
do it then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's do it
That's
then.
what I
If I'm dying,
said.
I'm
That's
why-
sick.
Huh?
That's why with me, this is why I go to church. My beliefs is I believe in heaven and hell. I don't know when I'm going to die, so I want to make it to heaven. I don't want to go to hell. You know, because it's a real thing.
Yep. That's what I said. I just want, and just put it around the casket. Just lay it around the casket.
my
and stuff like that.
mom,
I mean, I got it planned, but not like that. Because I don't want all that extravagant stuff. I don't want them to have to spend all
Right,
this
right,
money
right.
for when I'm
That's
not,
what I'm
when
saying.
they can spend that money on
On
if they have
themselves,
right,
kids
right.
or bills.
Yep.
I'd rather that.
my mom is,
I'll do the pond box.
Let me,
my mom
Yeah,
is
I
70.
don't need
we going
that.
on 40 minutes.
My mom is about 4.
Any last words?
My mom is about 40
God,
years
let
old.
Mike
than me.
get in.
And she says she wants to outlive. She's 40 years older than me. She goes, I want to outlive you just so I could watch all the women at your funeral.
You too? Another one?
Alright guys, this is going to be the end of, hopefully this depression video hasn't been too depressing. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Well, rate is say like or unlike. Rate, like, comment. Y'all know I mess this up at the end of every video.
Share it.
You know what to do.
Share it.
Share the video.
Comment.
Subscribe.
And everything we do will be in the description box below. Thank you for joining us and see you next week.